for giving me the scope to speak here. Thanks everybody. So I'll talk about the overcoming drug resistance through modulation of ROS. It's a very old concept. The drug resistance is now there are lot of efforts to identify drugs which targets the cancer. But the question is what is beyond that? Lot of drug development is going on, but it's getting resistance after some time. That's the main problem. So it's an overwhelming problem in chemotherapy. Drug resistance is harder to, cancer cells are harder to kill with the same drug, as a result cancer comes back. Drug resistance is also, people are studying long time, mainly MDR, microenvironment, heterologous cancer cell, and drug metabolism. DNA repair gene like APEX1 and these are recently shown as play important role in drug resistance. Now the observation is that Warburg effect is in very old 1950s. He stated that cancer cells have elevated level of ROS. The reactive oxygen species is produced in cancer and produced due to abnormal respiration. That excess ROS drives differentiated cell to non-differentiated cell. So ROS plays very important role in cancer development. That is Warburg effect. But how the ROS is produced in cancer cell? How ROS is excess in the cancer cell? The various environmental agents which makes mutation in the mitochondrial genome that produces defective enzyme, and that defective enzyme during ATP synthesis and electron transport chain produce excess ROS as a byproduct leaving energy generation. So it's a cycle actually. And you see in cancer cell there are thousands of secondary mutations that actually produces excess ROS in cancer cell. So cancer cell always have excess ROS than the normal cell. This is the main thing. Now how do we reverse the Warburg effect? As we will see in the next. Now I talked about ROS generation, how ROS is maintained in the cell. One of the system is NRF2 keep one system. Many of you probably know it. That NRF2 binds with the keep one and RBX in the cytoplasm. Excess ROS or excess oxidative stress releases keep one from NRF2, newly named NF to EL2. Free NF to EL2 get phosphorylated by stress kinase, moves to nucleus and binds to the antioxidant regulatory sequences that is located in the promoters of many antioxidant genes like catalase, GST and all this, and starts transcripts and produce lot of antioxidant enzymes that is reducing the ROS in the cell. So this is the ROS generation and ROS maintenance mechanism in the cancer cell. But there are some antioxidant genes, those do not have ARE sequences, so they must be regulated by unknown mechanism that has not been explored. Now, what is the role of ROS in tumorigenesis? ROS acts as second messenger, and its signaling is necessary for progression, metastasis, cellular adhesion, and spreading. And ROS concentration is a double-edged sword for tumor progression. How? Because moderate concentration is needed for cancer progression, but higher concentration is toxic to normal cell and cancer cell. That means if you give excess ROS to the normal cell or cancer cell, both will be killed. It depends on the dose. Okay, these are the basic things of the basic cancer development. Now, the recent reports with the recent drug development and their mechanism all these reports came in 2010, 11, 12. What is the remarkable thing is that these anti-cancer agents like rotenone, thermoquinone and different cancer like breast to pancreatic cancer, all these anti-cancer agents kills cancer cell by apoptosis through generation of ROS. Means they induce ROS generation and that ROS kills the cancer cells by apoptosis. So this is the basic mechanism of killing cancer cells by chemotherapy with most of the anti-cancer agents. Show how they kill. This is the left side, the green ones, these are reported mechanisms like CTTME, chlorambucil, cisplatin. They work on different genes and induce ROS generation, that is red. So these are the anti-cancer agents and they act on different genes, each one, and induces ROS. But the ROS acts on certain master regulatory genes, those induces the apoptotic genes and kills the apoptosis. So probably although you are developing drugs that are specific, they are inducing ROS, but ROS is killing the cells through common molecular pathway. So this part has been done by IPA, and this part is reported that cisplatin induces this, DTFN induces IL-24, or rotenone induces JNK-mediated apoptosis, but these all induces the reactive oxygen species, means excess ROS in the cancer cell. Okay. Then what is the question is, the important question is then how the cells are getting resistant. If excess ROS kills the cells by apoptosis, by inducing ROS generation, how they are getting resistant. So we developed a model system like ovarian carcinoma cells, epithelial carcinoma cells. These cells, by treating high dose of chlorambucil and cisplatin, these cells are resistant, tenfold more resistant to these drugs. Actually, it is most resistant to chlorambucil and cisplatin, etoposide, guanfacine, and iron addition. It is almost fivefold more resistant. So next time, for most of that time, I will model with the chlorambucil. Logic is there, chlorambucil is discontinued now as a cancer drug. But the logic is that if we can solve the resistance against chlorambucil, so we can solve the resistance with the other drugs, because chlorambucil shows tenfold more resistance. Now the observation is that, okay, when we treat with the drug, it kills through ROS generation, but the thing is that the blue is the sensitive cell, drug sensitive cell, and red is the resistant cell. The ROS level is going down in the prolonged treatment. Although anti-cancer drug induce ROS generation, but that ROS generation is reduced in the prolonged treated with the same drug, but not in the resistant cell, but not in the sensitive cell. So we used the NSC, that is the antioxidant, that is a ROS specific, and it is the same thing that in sensitive cell, when you use NSC, the survival is higher. This is survival, y-axis is survival. In resistance cell, when you put NSC antioxidant, the survival is higher. So this is the theme of the whole work, that anti-cancer drug, although they induce ROS generation to kill apoptosis, actually the ROS level after prolonged treatment, ROS level is reduced. So thus the question is that whether this reduction of ROS level is the mechanism of drug resistance. So we go to the next slide. In that case, the exogenous ROS, if we add, yes, that should sensitize the resistant cell. That's the exactly happening. If we add H2O2, first chlorambucil or cisplatin we treated, then we added the H2O2 once, and see that in very low concentration H2O2 it doesn't do anything, but in 50 millimolar H2O2 it kills the cell. And again, if you add catalase with that, the survival is increasing. So we used to give ROS like glucose oxidase with very low concentration for 3 days after treating the cisplatin, the resistant cell. And you see that when you give the cost, we call it chronic oxidative stress because it's giving 3 times. That cell survival is going very low, very down, and again if you put NSC or catalyst, it's protecting the cell, protecting the resistant cell. These all things are with resistant cell. So thus the bottom line is that the ROS is reduced in the cell with the prolonged treatment. So if you use exogenous ROS with the drug, that is actually ROS reduction is the mechanism of resistance. So you can sensitize the resistant cell with excess ROS. Now if we model that, what is happening in cancer cell, the normal cell has lower ROS, and normal cell has lower ROS. Cancer cell has higher ROS due to Warburg effect, due to abnormal glycolysis, and it goes for metastasis. There are hypotheses coming out that cancer cells have higher ROS, and any cell cannot withstand excess ROS. So to avoid excess ROS, cancer cells moves from the primary site and goes for metastasis. This hypothesis is not yet experimentally proved, but it's coming out. It's one of the propositions. Anyway. But when in higher ROS you put the drug, it gets apoptosis. But prolonged drug treatment reduces the ROS level. And when the ROS level is lower, or reduced ROS level makes the cancer cell resistant cell. So if you use drug and exogenous ROS, the resistant cells again gains sensitivity and killed by apoptosis. So that by using just playing with the ROS, with the dose dependent manner, whether we can overcome the drug resistance. That's the main theme of this work. Sure. Now, the thing is that whether this ROS reduction is a key mechanism or the general mechanism for all the cancer cells with all the anti-cancer cells. That's the next step. First, see whether any evidence is there. Very recently, some evidences came that if you resistance have higher catalase expression, which is acting as antioxidant. Victor and Barr, they showed it very recently. I mentioned you Inadeptor NaCl2 overexpression that reduce ROS, mechanistically confers drug resistance to carboxyplatin in lung and ovarian cancer. This came in 2011, and this is in 2012. It's telling that if you increase the antioxidant, that means if you reduce the ROS, cells are getting resistant. No, it's not working.
Good, next.
Next. So whether we can develop a combination of chemotherapy by using the drug with the excess ROS. Whether we have to maintain the excess ROS in the cell with the drug. That's the purpose. How we can maintain the ROS? By modulating the mitochondrial ROS generation like mitokines, or so increase the ROS level in the cell. By modulating the ROS maintaining genes like APEX1 or NFCL2, by targeting or by direct delivering ROS into the tumor site by nanoparticle or spheroid in combination with the drug. That can solve the drug resistance, could solve the drug resistance. Now we see some gene, whether we can catch some gene for this thing. We did the microarray with this resistant cell, only drug and drug with the ROS. So last two lanes with the drug with the COS, and this is only drug, this is non-treated sensitive cell, this is non-treated resistant cell, this is only ROS, and we as you expect in microarray, you get all sorts of genes in repair gene, channel gene, those are changing. There are a big list, but this one is ARHGF6 a G coupled receptor, guanine extended receptor, that seems to be impressive. So we went ahead with this gene and see whether it can overcome the drug resistance. This is an IP analysis to see that whether this gene can give apoptosis. So blue are the genes which changes in the expression, and sky blue genes are the interlinking genes. You see these blue genes, those are changing in the microarray expression. HSPA1A, TP53, TP53 is the new name, ARHGF6, and NF-κB2. Actually, they can, in the pathway they are related, that they can induce apoptosis. This is just a modeling. Then we went ahead and we validated this microarray expression, and we assayed some genes like ARHGF6 and P53, and you see this gene is reducing after 9 hours of treatment with the POSH and the drug. And P53 also increasing, that's a sign of the apoptosis. Yes. 2 minutes. So there are also P50 to HP70, those are also changing. Whether ARHGF6 can, there's a network, whether you can modulate other ROS regulatory genes like GSTP, PRSP, glutathione, all this. Now it's the question is that how general it is. To make a generalized, see here, all drugs in the same pathway, it induces reactive oxidation species, and that makes you that kills by apoptosis. But when it get resistant, it can again go towards the tumorigenesis. So the ROS playing the double role. It is killing the cancer cell, but when the ROS level is reduced, it can go to the tumorigenesis. Okay, this is just modeling to do the how this gene we can modulate with different molecules. Now we are using, we knocked out ARHGF6, and with the combination of drug, it gives 80% sensitivity. Means we can overcome 80% drug resistance, but 80% is not enough, as we know that you have to remove the whole single cancer cell to make a therapy. We used a pool of microRNA and translating them, and first we used the translated pool of microRNA, miRNA, in the resistant cell, and it overcomes greater than 95% resistance. Now we are selecting from the pool each microRNA to identify the specific miRNA which can overcome the total resistance, and our purpose is to see that this is applicable to most of the cancer cells, most of the anti-cancer drugs. We are also trying to develop, also it's in the top level, to develop nanoparticles that whether we can increase the ROS level by using nanoparticle in the cancer cell. So future direction, these are the things we are continuing, that whether ROS reduction is a general mechanism of drug resistance in most of the cancer cells for any specific drug. We are identifying microRNA, small molecules that inhibit, that modulate this ARHGF6 expression, which could maintain the increased ROS in the cell. So along with the combination of the drug, it can overcome the complete resistance, and it should be applicable to any drug and in any cancer cell. So we are proposing a combination of therapy that I told already, that with the drug and the ROS, increasing ROS. And the important thing that now it is coming out that since anti-cancer drugs induces ROS, and it can be overcome, and reduction of ROS in the resistant cell, that means ROS could be a measure of drug efficacy. That means when you treat the patients with their cancer drug, then measure the level of ROS, whether the drug is acting or how it is, how the drug is responding to the patients. And also we are now using the next-gen sequencing for single cell analysis and methylation profiling for this ROS level reduction of the drug resistance. Thank you.
I think we'll hold our questions until after the session. We're about 20 minutes behind right now, so you're eating up your lunchtime. I don't know if you know that or not.
I can show the importance.
So